Welcome to the Mick, a Mook, and a Mike. Hosted by four-time Emmy-nominated producer Frank Mace and retired New York City firefighter, 9/11 first responder, and Vietnam vet, Billy O'Connor.
Today's guest,
trend-setting costume designer of shows like Sex and the City, Molly Rogers.
My brother
Frankie, how you doing, pal?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, pal.
How'd you spend your New Year's Eve?
Sober.
Yeah, well, that must have been hard for you.
Yeah, you know what? New Year's Eve, anybody who's ever in the saloon business hates New Year's Eve. It's like it's amateur night. You know what I mean?
It's amateur night, but it doesn't. Don't you make big money?
No, it is amateur night. I mean, people come out, they cause trouble, they cause grief, and you do make good money, but it's always the anticipation. There's going to be a brawl, there's going to be trouble, there's going to be grief, and the New Year's Eve we hate it. But after that night is over, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when you close down your joint, then all the bar owners and all the bartenders will go out because you're all geared up and you really can't shut it down, you know. And I used to love New Year's Day because you'd be drinking in all the bars with professional drinkers, you know, bartenders, owners, and there was no grief. And you got the football games you could bet on, and it was a good day, you know. But you drink. I used to come out of a bar at 5:30 in the morning and drink right into the next day at night, you know.
Good times.
Good times. Back when we had stamina, Frank, when men were men. And the sheep were nervous. Men were men and the sheep were nervous.
You were going to say it twice. You're going to say it a third time? And
why not? I got a buyback after 3. That's the way they do it in the Bronx. You get buyback after 3 drinks.
But you sold a lot of Perrier on tap.
That's a lot of everything. Oh, yeah, New Year's Eve is but now, I mean, that's all past me. I don't even.
So what?
I don't even make midnight, and I'm out here in California. It's 9 o'clock. I can barely make it.
So what are your New Year's resolutions?
I don't know.
To live another year?
Cash a check, maybe. I'd like to cash a check this year. I don't know. It just, you know,
does anybody even write checks anymore?
I don't know. I don't. The electronic thing is the deal. Nobody even sends money anymore.
Yeah.
What do you? It's all.
You guys don't. You guys don't pay actors with checks. It's electronic.
They're all direct deposit.
Oh, okay.
They're all direct deposit. But you know what? Let's bring our guest on, Molly.
Yeah.
Molly Rogers, costume designer. Hey, Molly, you're on.
Costume designer to the stars. I hate New Year's Eve. I hate New Year's Eve as well.
You hate New Year's Eve as well.
Why do you hate New Year's Eve?
Everybody gets so wasted and they're so embarrassing and they're so boring. And yeah, I think it's an edible night now.
Good decision.
There are a lot of edible nights for sure.
I take my edibles and go right out. I think they're the greatest things in the world. Did you notice with the edibles, they're more body?
By the way, Molly, that's Billy O'Connor, my partner, and that's
pleasure, Molly. A real pleasure to know you.
Pleasure.
Hello.
Thank you, Billy.
Molly,
nice to meet
Molly,
everybody.
You look fabulous.
It took me hours to look like this.
I noticed one of your themes is fabulous and fashionable at any age. What do you think you can do for me and Frank? You think you can make us look fabulous and fashionable?
Well, first of all, I already like the athletic wear, the stripes with the hoodies. I can't. What is Frank wearing? His usual.
His usual.
His classic little black shirt. Classic. I like the athletic look. I like jeans on you guys. You look like a bunch of fun freakos.
Fun freakos.
Speaking of fun freakos, how you been?
I'm good. I just got out of the pool. I'm in Miami Beach. It's Art Basel. The town is packed. Jeff Bezos is here with his big old yacht.
Wow.
It's packed. The town is packed. So it's perfect to be inside talking to you guys today. You can't move in the town. The traffic is incredible. Yeah.
Really?
Where are you in Miami? You by South Beach? Or you?
Yeah, I'm on South Beach. Right on South Beach.
Oh, nice.
It's a good place to come after working in New York and killing yourself at work. It's really nice to come here and take it down a notch.
And you must be thrilled that just like that as it got picked up for a third season?
It has. I'm so grateful, and I just wonder if they're going to take it out on the crew what they had to pay the writers and the actors. I'm thinking this could be like 4 tandem units at once.
Yeah, well, I just had to release some people on.
You had to lay off half the crew, right?
Well, I laid off a lot of people on Night Court because of what the strikes. The strikes did some damage to our bottom line. That's for sure. That's
for sure. I think a lot of people, like I know a lot of hair and makeup people are really suffering. Tough times right after the pandemic.
And I think there's talk that there's going to be a Teamster strike August 1st. And they're going to go out for 3 weeks at least. So
what do those guys want?
More money, more. They want the same money but less hours.
Oh my! They want their third homes.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
the Teamsters in New York, they get 2 checks. They get a check for 12 hours, and they get their Gumad check. The check that they want to give to their side piece.
So you shoot just like that in New York, right, Molly? That's
yeah, the best city in the world.
As long as you're not a driver. As long as you don't have to park that van.
As long as you're not on the Cross Bronx Expressway, exactly. Yeah, greatest place in the world.
Cross Bronx Expressway. Yeah, that's a brutal one, actually.
Bumper to bumper, all the way.
Okay, Molly. So it wouldn't be a Mika Muka to Mike if we didn't ask you to give us some dirt on the stars.
Dirt on the stars.
Who were previously the stars of?
Well, I have to say that Frank, I do try to stay out of that kind of thing.
However,
I do like to work and I do like a paycheck, so I don't have too many rotten things to say about anyone. I do think that
by the way, I think your stars are fabulous stars. Why don't you say who the stars of your show are?
Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, Cynthia Nixon. We did have the wonderful Chris Noth, but they booted him off due to scandals and I don't know what else. I love him. He was so wonderful. And the original show, which I worked on with Pat Field, who I know you are very good friends with, had also Kim Cattrall, who I think, was misbehaving this year. She doesn't have too many nice things to say about anyone. So that was unfortunate.
Well, she demanded that the war be stopped in Gaza. So that's
who did?
Kim.
Kim did? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure she has a lot of pool over there.
Exactly. Molly, I certainly prefer you with the glasses.
Yeah, people do like them on me.
Wow.
I'm a little more intelligent, maybe.
You like getting fashion tips from me, huh?
Yeah, I like to. I like to be dictated to about clothing and looks. Love it.
Well, Molly did me a solid. She got me a. Can I say this? No, I can't say it because I'm still at Warner Brothers. But she fitted me for a tuxedo for my daughter's wedding. And
yeah, that's right.
I looked fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yes, that was fun. You are fun. When other producers come in the room and ask to be personally shopped for, or the worst is, will you do the Halloween costumes for my rotten, bratty kids? And I don't have fun. I don't like Halloween. I don't like New Year's Eve.
Let me ask you, Molly, that just like that, your show, which is obviously successful, picked up for the 3rd year on Max, the name, just like that, is it means like, look how easy, just like that, or is it just like that? What's the impetus for the name? Where'd it come from?
I don't know. I don't read those scripts. No, in all sincerity, I do believe it's something that Sarah Jessica Parker's character would always write in her sex column. She's a sex columnist in New York, and I think it's how she would end a lot of her columns or, yeah.
That was her kicker, just
Kind
like
of,
that.
it was kind of a byline, I guess I would say. So the reboot used it. And just like that, ...
Just like that, ... Well, I was, it's funny how I was watching a commercial, a Cadillac commercial, and I said, there's Molly. Molly was in the Cadillac commercial, and I saw Molly, and I said, I got to get her on the show. Who would have thought that Molly Rogers is,
it was the craziest thing for them to it was really interesting, and I have to say I really liked that lyric, that electric Cadillac. It was fun. I drove it in Manhattan for the commercial. It was a lot of fun. But Frank, I don't know if you know this, but Candace Bergen was on And Just Like That.
I do know that.
She plays Enid, the magazine editor, and she came on, and I'm so grateful that I had worked with her on Murphy Brown, because she bragged about me to everyone on set,
Nice.
Told them what an angel I was, made me look good. She was so nice.
She's the best. She's as good a star as I've ever worked with. I mean, she's a wonderful woman and a good star and a good friend, and she takes care of all her people.
I love to watch her work, and I love to watch her act, and she's just a class act. And Gloria Steinem was in the scene with her, and they just had a really good time. But I'm glad I knew her, previously, thanks to you.
But why don't you tell us about the Cadillac commercial?
Well, I couldn't figure out how they were going to tie in a car and clothing. Like I was like, I gotta see what these ad people come up with. And it was really interesting because the clothing on that show, in large part to the original show and working with Pat Field, the clothes are very, very iconic. And, many, many fans of the show love the fashion. So they kind of tied icons together, like the clothing and the Cadillac. So it made a lot of sense to me, and it was really fun. And the Warner Brothers media people were really kooks, the New York kooks that you love to hang out with on set, nuts. And we just had a really good time. And we shot it here in Miami Beach, and we went to New York, and I drove it around kind of on 9th Avenue over there near the Hudson Yards. And I kept running yellow lights, and the camera truck would say, stop, don't do that. And I was like, oh, oops, that's how I drive. Yellow light. So it was great. I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was a fun, not many costume designers, get a little limelight. So it was fun to do that. I really had a great time.
Well, you've now mentioned Pat Field twice, and Pat Field is a legendary costume designer. Why don't you tell us a little about how you met Pat, how you got into business, and your relationship with Pat?
Okay, I will try to make it a short story, Frank.
No, don't make it a short story, because you can.
It involves a lot of sex and drugs and all kinds of shenanigans.
That's right up Billy's alley. It's right up Billy's alley.
Sounds good to me. It's got all the necessities.
I met Pat Field on Friday the 13th, 1984. I walked into her store. 1984, I was straight out of London in college, and I had a paper dress on. And I walked into her famous store. She had a clothing store in Greenwich Village. And I introduced myself and asked her if she had a job. And that's how I met her. And I started working with her. And I was thinking about her.
She hired you just based on asking?
On the spot.
That's chutzpah. And that's what we talk about, chutzpah with a lot of our guests. You just got to take a chance. And you took a chance.
I don't know if that happens anymore. The kids that I talk to today, or that are in my department as PAs, they do not, I don't know if you know this, Billy or Frank, the kids today do not believe that you get anywhere by working your way up. They don't believe in that.
That's true. I can tell you about the PAs on my shows and in our office.
They believe the only way to get anywhere is to have an OnlyFans account with, doing weird things with your feet or something. I don't know.
So
it's partly true, but I have to say, I was thinking about Pat today, and I had this mystical idea, as a lot of young people do, about New York and the Warhol, the Silver Factory, and and I kind of always looked at Pat as my Warhol. Like, I always thought of Pat, even though she's a dear, dear friend, I always thought of her as a really zany, talented artist. And I would always try and protect her on like productions and stuff. I would do the things that Pat didn't want to do, like I would force myself to go to the budget meetings, or, I would really try to let Pat do her thing. And, I just had a lot of fun with her, but I really did try to leave her space to create. And boy, did she.
Yeah, Pat Field is a legendary costume designer. Now she's probably pushing 80.
Yeah, she is. She's 80.
What color's her hair these days?
Hers?
Yeah.
The usual fire engine red, or I don't know what they call that color, actually.
And she's still driving that Thunderbird?
She has a Thunderbird, yes.
Pink.
Before that, it was the Pacer.
Yeah, but she's got a pink Thunderbird, I think, that she drives around like Barbie.
Baby blue.
Baby blue.
blue.
She drives around New York City like Barbie. And this 80-year-old woman with fire hair, engine red hair. So now, why don't you tell us about the sex, drugs, and the rock and roll?
Well, Pat in the 80s hired people that, of course, stimulated and juiced her up, inspired her, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So the whole store was kids that were living on the edge and very, very creative, and transsexuals and drag queens. And, she was the den mother. So it was fringe already, the employees. And then when we would go out at night, we were downtown people. And downtown was fast and furious in the 80s. We had Jean-Michel Basquiat, and we had Courtney Love in the bathroom of the store doing drugs, and, all your typical downtown New York scenarios. And we were in the middle of it. And, we had friends in medical school that were making ecstasy, and, we were about the nightlife. So we went out and we enjoyed ourselves and got up the next day. And I feel like it helped our creativity on productions because we were out with our finger on the pulse of the street. Yep. That's my opinion.
And and that showed in your work.
I think it definitely reflected in our work, and it inspired us. And, we knew where the hot spots were. We could tell locations, like this is the bar of the moment. And I just think it really informed everything to be a part of what was trending, which, as we know now, you don't have to leave your house to discover stuff like that. You can go to the top 10 restaurants just from someone's dumbass list on TikTok.
Yep.
You can experience things without going out at 1 a.m. It's a different world, and sometimes for the better. Yeah. And I don't know.
Double-edged sword, for sure.
I think it's good to get in trouble.
Yeah, I think it's good to interact with people. I mean, especially in bars and clubs, you want to go out and meet people. And, I think my concern is today with all this electronic stuff, everybody on computers and everything else, nobody socializes. Nobody wants to talk. Even my son sends me text messages. I don't want to write. Talk to me.
It's so true, Billy.
It's bullshit.
It's so true. If you meet a PA, when I meet a PA that can look me in the eyes and say their name or introduce themselves, I usually hire them.
Yeah. I imagine that's true. When you walked in to meet Pat for the first time, introduced yourself, You got the job, like Frank says, with some chutzpah. What exactly does a job like that entail? I mean, she became a mentor of sorts. How do you become a mentor to somebody who's a costume designer? I mean, is there certain rules, or is it just run with your fantasy? I mean, how does that work?
It's a good question because there's many parts to it. It's watching someone like that create, someone like Pat create in a dressing room, like watching her style sensibility, or shopping for 8 hours with her in Century 21 for years and years, and seeing what her eye goes to, and seeing how it works on actual bodies and not supermodels. You know, actors have normal bodies usually. And I think it's almost mimicry, or it's osmosis, where it kind of just permeates your being, and then you start contributing with your influences. And I think one of the strongest examples that Pat gave to me as far as working in production was to just be honest with the money people, honest with the actors when they're standing in front of a mirror, because then you become trusted. And I think that was important to learn.
Yeah.
Honesty. I don't know how Trump didn't learn it.
Don't be afraid to criticize for constructive criticism. In other words, let them know, hey, you don't look that.
It doesn't look good on you.
It don't look good.
Right. And there's certain ways to say it so they don't have meltdowns, because they are, very, very hard on themselves because of, high definition. I mean, even now on this podcast, I want a mask over my face. It's hard. They have to look at every detail, and there's a way to tell people, I can do better than that. I can find you a better pant that looks better. Blame it on yourself, or I don't know.
So, what was the first set you worked on that Pat took you when you advanced in the Pat Field world?
Oh, Billy will like this. Billy will like this. The first thing I believe I ever styled with Pat was a Playboy centerfold.
Well, how much style is that?
Yeah.
throw the sheath over there. Move the fig leaf to the right. Don't wear those gloves.
No, it was a big layout with lots and lots of scenarios. And, you start in magazines and then you move into commercials, which I wish I could get more. I wish I could get into the commercial world here in Miami. And then you move into television, and hopefully you move into movies. That's kind of the costume designer progression. Print, and then commercials, and then TV. And we did a magazine, we did Playboy, and, you have to, lots and lots of high heels, lots and lots of bras, underwear, whether you use them or not, you had to have all that stuff, feather boas, stockings, garter belts. It was a good, I learned a lot. I learned how to take a feather that had gotten stuck between her crack when the model was posing. I learned how to get a feather that had floated away from the boa off her butt.
Wow.
And you do that very carefully.
Very carefully.
Talent.
See, that you wouldn't mind being an understudy in a job like that for a bit. You wouldn't mind taking care of that.
And then you advanced and you did a movie with Pat, something called The Devil Wore Prada.
Oh, wow.
The Devil Wears Prada, Frank.
Okay. I got 3 of the 4 words right.
And Pat got nominated for an Oscar for that.
As she should.
And it is such a classic. I mean, people ask me about that movie all the time and what it was like working on it, and it was pure hell.
Why so?
Wow, really?
Well, basically, if I tell you this, Frank, I know you'll believe it because it's very, very true. I was killing myself on that thing. And if it wasn't for my Rolodex and the people that I knew and could call favors in, it would, it literally, my Rolodex should have gotten a producer credit. We did the clothing for that movie with all the montages and every fashion show and everything for it. Our costume budget was $112,000.
Wow. It's low, right?
That's low.
And I killed myself on it, and I started becoming really bitter about being worked like that. I love David Frankel, and I love him, and I love that script. But I was being flogged on that thing for nothing, and I really became like super unhappy. Do you know what I mean? When you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and you're
sure.
appreciated.
Yes, we know all about that.
And someone told me that it's the sign of a good project when you're fucking miserable on it.
Thank you. See that, Derek?
Yes, exactly.
We're on a great project here.
In 1988, we went to Russia, first show ever to go to Russia, and it was brutal. And
What show?
Head of the class.
Okay.
We went to Russia, and about midway through the shoot, one of the hairdressers came up to me and she says, "Who do I have to fuck to get off the show?"
Off the show.
Oh, that
sounds pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Just to interject for a second.
Derek's in the fashion business, so
yeah, barely. But okay, so Devil Wears Prada. Literally, the movie is about the fashion industry, and they elect to have $112,000 budget. I don't understand why would they do that? Can anybody answer that question?
I think Frank would have to answer that, because obviously I was able to do it for that because of my Rolodex. So I can only imagine what kind of bonus a producer got.
Still a little bit of
Am
this
I
there,
right,
Molly.
Frank?
no comment.
Am I right? Am I right?
No,
or am I
Still a little acid there.
But I'm sure that somebody was thinking of basically a lot of promo would be gotten on that film.
Meryl's salary probably had something to do with it, I would imagine.
Yeah. What was the thought that maybe it would get out of hand because of the fact that it's a fashion movie per se?
No, I think it was a very, very wise judgment to hire Pat and myself, all coming off of Sex in the City, where we could call anyone in the world and get something for Sarah Jessica for free. And I mean, anyone in the world. So they already knew that we had that kind of outreach.
Wow.
Okay, that's brilliant.
You can't make those phone calls if you're working with someone that's on the D list. But when you call Italy and you ask Valentino for some free clothes for Meryl Streep, it's gonna happen.
Yes, but in fairness to myself,
Yes.
I would have given you guys a big bonus. Was there any bonus forthcoming for you and Pat?
You are that kind of person, which is why I'm on your podcast. I respect you and love you. You would have made things right. You would have seen it. You would have seen what was going on in the costume department.
So Molly, are you saying that with the Devil Wears Prada, that not just because of your talent, but the juice that you can produce, that's part of the deal. That's why they hire you, because they know you got juice.
I mean, for that particular project, I think they knew that the power of doing the costumes for as little as possible was, going to be inside that Rolodex for sure.
That's incredible.
A lot of times producers will call me from a dinner party or a bar, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm sitting next to Michael Kors, vice president, and she says anything you want, you can have." I already know that. Thanks for the phone call, but yeah, I know that.
That's great.
I can do it. I'm glad you met them. Thank you.
And
No, I don't mean to sound. I hope I'm not coming across like really negative or anything.
no, you're coming across like Molly. You're coming across. Tell it like it is.
Yeah,
That's what we want. We want people to tell it like it is because we say what's on our
adults.
mind.
Yeah, we're all adults.
I appreciate all the people I know and all the things that they will do, for a production with, it's a commercial for them. So it works both ways. It's great. And I appreciate all of them. And I don't know, it's symbiotic. Yeah. And I hope I never have to do a cop show.
Well, you can make that's a good idea.
Yeah, because those uniforms are
They're brutal.
not very stylistic. That's for sure.
Brutal.
Oh, they're brutal.
Literally.
Pinning all that stuff into those thick vests. Oh, my fingernails. No.
I have a question about the budget. What's the normal budget for something like Devil Wears Prada? So if 112 was small, what's a standard budget?
What would you have liked to have?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I can't.
Okay.
I mean, let's look at it this way. I wonder what the budget was on that Ocean's 12 or 11 where all went to the gala and the jewel heist and it was all women. I bet that was they didn't have a budget. I bet they were told just get it done.
Probably.
Wow.
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8, was it 8? Yeah.
The one with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, you
Yes, yes.
The girl.
I'm sure they didn't have any problems because of that cast. And, nobody was going to tell those girls, no, you can't have that shoe. It's $2,000.
Well, who was going to tell Meryl Streep no?
Yeah.
Who's going to, yeah, but
Nobody.
nobody. But a while ago, I think a lot of my friends were working for networks that were making them take pictures and sending them in if they were trying to buy something over $500.
Wow.
And it was driving costume designers nuts. I don't know if you guys know clothing prices, but a sandal is now $800.
A sandal that you buy, not a sandal that Billy buys. Sandal that Billy buys may cost $8.
Billy has his Jesus sandals from the 60s still.
Yeah. Billy still has his communion money stuck in a wallet. Happy Holy Communion, Billy. Billy doesn't throw it around on clothes. Let me ask you something.
Billy doesn't throw it around on clothes. He puts it up his nose.
Puts it up his nose. Yeah, he used to put it up his nose. Yeah, productive.
He's
stuff.
reformed now. Thank goodness.
Reformed, absolutely. Let me ask you a question, Molly. You talk about the Devil Wears Prada and the low budget.
Prada.
I know Prada. Yeah, I know what it is. I'm a stylistic guy. Don't worry about it. Let me ask you. When you with
guy.
Obviously a big hit show like Sex and
the City, just like that.
They couldn't be tight with a budget, right? You have a big hit like that, they got to be loose and say, they don't give you a pre-budget, do they? They just tell you do the job, right? Not really.
In television, no. I have to answer to people who have to answer to other people. And I train shoppers and people like that to be very respectful of the budget, because I know that my line producer or UPM is going to look good if I don't go wild and insane. And I am always complimented by producers who say, you're the one department that's not out of control. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me get out of control. They really do compliment me about keeping it between the ditches. I don't go off the rails. I am kind of conservative, and, I can get so much stuff for free that when I do have a big ticket item, I can justify it.
Got it.
I made a kid, one of the PAs, I had him keep a record of every price of every single thing I pulled into the show last season on season 2, how much it cost, the stuff that we got for free, loaned to us, and it was over $3 million
Holy
Damn.
mackerel.
Damn. So that's why they hired you for a Devil Wears Prada. Now we got it.
Yeah.
A handbag is right now a normal handbag, Chanel, whatever, $6,000.
Wow.
And they pay.
And she changes clothes a lot, Carrie. You know?
Yep.
What's your favorite handbag? What do you like?
I have to say that I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, don't say it. Don't say it. It's okay.
So
understand.
I will say that one of my favorite handbags is something I would find or discover at a vintage store.
Got it.
Correct.
Got
Oh,
it.
wow.
I love things like that. Matter of fact, there was a hat, Frank, there was this hat in this Palm Beach thrift store. It was, I guess you call them Congo pith helmets, kind of.
Yeah.
But it was,
Kind of-
it was straw, so it was really cool. And I picked it up and looked at it. And when you flipped it over, the crown of the hat had a mirror in it where you could check your lipstick.
Whoa.
Wow.
It was so cool and so great. For a television scene, to use that in a scene would be so much fun for the writers to say, oh, and then she takes her hat off and looks at her lipstick.
But why'd you mention that to Michael Patrick King the next time you see him?
I will.
Yeah.
I surely will.
Did you buy the hat?
I will see him in January. Yes, I did. I don't know, Frank, what to tell you. A pith helmet can be a little political these days. Do you know what I mean?
Why? With the pith helmet. Yeah, no, I'm missing that.
Well, we had a person who we didn't want to do the podcast because our name was a Mika Muka Mike, that she didn't want to appear to be unsympathetic to the to the Italian and the Irish folks.
To the mooks and the mic.
To the mix and the
To the
mics.
mix and the mooks.
To the mix and the mooks. She didn't want to be.
Yeah, I don't know. So is it politically correct? Is something about wearing a pith helmet is no good? Is that the deal?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that could find something offensive about that colonialism.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Everybody's got a beef with everything, don't they?
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Well-
I believe it or not, I had a stand-in on one of my shows who refused to work as an extra.
Wow.
So-
Principle. On principle.
on principle. So he's no longer working on a show.
Well, I don't get it.
Yeah, me
What's-
either. Stand in, you stand in the extra. Right? You're an extra. We need you to scream over there. Be part of the mob,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
The guy didn't want to do it on principle.
Yeah. Well.
So principle is you're going to get a check. If you don't get the check, there's no principle.
Yeah.
And the principle.
So
Yeah.
you got.
No. Go ahead.
Go- Well, I just wanted to know. I mean, this maybe jumping too far ahead. You want to ask more about the?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. So trends. So you guys have to discover trends and also make trends. How do you do that? What are your avenues for
Well,
that?
that's a really good question. I can't believe Frank didn't think of it. Just kidding. If you set out to make a trend, you're not going to do it.
Okay.
The best thing to do is follow your gut and stand in the store and look at something and go, wow, I really like that. And you pick things that you like and you put them together because you like them. You don't say, okay, this is a scene, an exterior, and Carrie is going to walk down the sidewalk and I need to come up with something that's going to go viral here. You would be crippled in the fitting room if you thought that way. Like earlier this morning, I was reading about what's going to be trendy for fall next year. I don't believe these reports. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stabbing in the dark. A red shoe is supposed to be really, really hot for spring. Okay. I hope I like it. Because you're not going to get it in the fitting room unless you really like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like you can't make an actor wear something they don't like. If you hand them, I don't know if you guys know this, but I found a pigeon purse, purse that was actually a pigeon.
Oh my
And Sarah Jessica carried it on the street. And it was this massive hit. The company had waiting lists, and it was insane. People were like, she's carrying a pigeon and she can't even fit her phone inside of it. It was so much fun to watch her work with this pigeon in this scene. It was insane. It was so great. It was such a carry accessory. It was a $900 pigeon bag.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
And I knew in the fitting, I knew that was a no-brainer. I knew that when once she walked down the street in the scene with it, I knew that was going to be a headline in like 2 minutes on the internet. And it was, but I didn't premeditate it, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my life, if I was talking to you, in person, I'd have to go down this road. So this pigeon purse, where were you and what happened in the moment that made you make that choice? Like, what sort of, like, did something come over you? Did you envision her with the pigeon purse? Like, what happened? I'm curious.
I had missed it. Actually, it was on the runway in Paris, I think, at J.W. Anderson's show, Paris or London, and I had not seen it. I missed it. And then my friend was in Italy. You know, the Italians, they rule the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Nothing happens without the Italians.
Thank
Okay,
you.
They really run Hollywood. Let's be.
Really?
They run 7th Avenue. I know that.
Huh.
Anyway,
Wow.
the Italians make it happen, and I love them. And my friend was in Italy, and I was like, "What are you carrying?" He had sent a picture of himself on WhatsApp, and he was carrying a pigeon. And I was like, "What? Get me one immediately." I have to have that because, and I'll tell you why real quickly. Sarah Jessica as Carrie had made an Eiffel Tower bag really, really famous in the original show because she's a Francophile and she would go to Paris as her character. And she made this little glittered Eiffel Tower bag really famous, and it's sold all over the world. If I had a penny for everyone, I would not be talking to you. But what was I going to say? I was looking for something New York for years that could be as iconic as the Eiffel Tower.
Totally.
And I looked at a million apples, and corny. I thought that was corny, the Big Apple. And I looked at lots and different things. And when I saw that pigeon on my friend, I was like, you can't, besides a rat, you can't get any more New York than that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The same thing.
The rat holding a piece of pizza.
And there is actually a handbag with the rat hanging off a piece of pizza. I saw it the other day on Instagram.
Buy it.
But do you have 1 minute? I have the pigeon bag right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to
Absolutely.
see it.
You want to see it live and in
Yes.
person?
Sure.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
That's exactly what hit my head. As soon as you said pigeons,
I-
I think the New York
I-
rats.
I would
Pigeons
say
and rats. Yeah, without a doubt.
That's crazy.
That's the wildlife that we're used to. Pigeons and rats.
I'm interested to see how Derek's taken over this whole interview.
I love it. You know what? That's a question that neither one of us would ask. So, what's
Oh.
your favorite bag? I was a little quiffy.
Was it?
A bit, just a bit. What's your favorite bag?
Oh,
You know, that this is my industry, sir.
yes, I know. You said
Even your tone of voice changes a little bit.
Hello.
she gets the box and everything.
Oh, I gotta
have
see
to show
this.
you- Frank, I have to show you the box. Okay.
Okay. Oh, J.W. Anderson. Nice.
Nice.
Billy with.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's great.
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's obviously an extra. Or did you get one for yourself?
I I called them and said, hey, I think I deserve one. They were like, you know what? You fucking do.
I got to see this thing out of the bag. This
Is that a lot? That was a real pigeon? No.
Unbelievable.
Totally.
How does she carry that upside down? Look at this. Holy mackerel. Look at this. Wow.
You
That's something else.
You can fit your lipstick.
That's all you need.
Frank, what do you think?
You carry it by the feet? I mean, is that the deal? How do you carry that thing? Oh, wow.
If you can get it for $15, you can have it.
Amazing.
That's great.
And this went viral everywhere. Everybody wanted one of these.
Frank, isn't the color on it amazing?
Well, you're talking to two guys who can't see color. Derek, is the color on it amazing?
It's all amazing. I think it's incredible. Such a great idea.
I'm so glad I saw it, and I'm so glad that Sarah Jessica is the kind of person, actress, and human that would say, give me that bird, I want to carry it.
Oh, that's great. It's good to hear
She's great to work with, is she, Sarah Jessica Parker?
She's just fantastic and open for everything and will try on anything. She will never say no to anything. She will try it on and say, oh, this doesn't work, but I'm glad I know.
Great. That's good to hear. That's great to hear. So I just want to mention that my daughter is working she's high up in the Mother Denim chain. So if you ever need any jeans from Mother Denim, give me a call.
Okay.
Don't say anything bad about Mother Denim, whatever you do.
All right. I know where to get them now.
Yes, ma'am. Give me a call. Give me a call anytime.
I will.
So,
That's a nice connection.
Okay, you please.
no, you go.
Was there some kind of controversy that I read with Kim Cattrall not wanting to work with, just wanted to work with Pat and not work with something about she wouldn't come back unless Pat was doing her clothes? Is that?
Kim had like 5 stipulations. One was producers could not come on her set. Number 2, actresses could not come on her set.
What?
Number 3, Pat had to do her clothes. And I had seen Kim at Pat's book signing about a week before all of this hit the press. And I was like, well, what she got against me? I don't have I don't have anything in this game. I thought it was really crazy to involve a crew, a department in your list of stipulations. Why are you getting us down in the muck?
Yeah.
So I called Pat and I said, Pat, the cat's out of the bag. Kim, one of her stipulations is you have to dress her. And I just want you to know I take great offense. I think it's really rude to my department. And, I don't like it. But of course, you guys are really good friends. So, go to Bergdorf's. We have an account there. And I started getting asked about it a lot. And I wanted it to die because I really didn't want to talk about Kim. And because I thought it was like rude to my department to make us out as we could never dress her in the, how she was accustomed to be dressed. So when I was in London doing press, lots of people were asking me about it, and I figured it wouldn't get back to the U.S. So when people said, what would you, if you had gotten to dress Kim as Samantha, what would you have put her in? And I said, a straitjacket. And I got away with it.
Perfect. That is cheesy, right? To single out a production, part of the production could say, I won't do it unless, that's cheesy.
Well, I think it wasn't so much the production as it was she wanted to elevate herself. And by saying, I just want Pat Field, she elevated herself instead of realizing that she was diminishing the entire department.
Right.
Well,
See how political.
That's very nice.
Yeah, he's a politician.
I'm sure she
What's his
realized
favorite
how
thing?
it looked, and she just didn't care. But I'm a low on the totem pole. Why drag me into it? If you've got beef with the cast or the producers or whatever, and you said you would never ever come back,
Yeah, well, I'm sure there were a bunch of zeros on the end of that paycheck that convinced her to come back.
I'm sure she had a dump truck going to the bank.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure. But when press would ask me, we're all excited. What's she going to wear? What's she going to wear? I was like, you should be careful what you're fantasizing about, because she could be in a scene where she's just in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I kept trying to downplay it.
Yeah. Well, as it was, she was. As it was, she was in a cab, right?
She was in a town car in London, and she wanted to wear sunglasses, and I heard that the camera set man told her that we're paying you enough, we want to see your eyes.
Wow. Wow.
Fair enough. Cameraman had a lot of job security.
Fair enough.
Right?
So did they see her eyes?
Oh yeah, she didn't wear sunglasses.
Good.
Wow.
Good. Enough of Kim Chemtrail.
Yeah. Why elevate her stature?
Well, I got some more questions because
I'm sure you do.
these guys are.
There's a man in the business.
Just make sure we see you
Well, I
on.
mean,
just make sure we're seeing you on camera.
You guys,
Make sure we're seeing you on camera. Why don't you?
I mean,
why don't you,
talk to me.
you can't. Molly can't see your hat. Why don't you bend down so she can see
She
your
can
hat?
see it. She can see it.
What is it? What's on it?
Oh, it's a brand of ours.
I can't tell.
Oh, it says Gypsy.
Gypsy.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh, come on.
I got a question about. Did you watch the movie House of Gucci?
Of course, I loved Lady Gaga in it. I thought she went deep.
Yeah, she did.
She did so good.
I agree. What did you think about the styling?
Loved.
Okay.
Accurate and present, but not overbearing like a pigeon purse that steals the scene.
Hilarious.
So it was an accurate movie, The House of Gucci. It was pretty much how it works.
At least
I thought so.
fashion-wise.
Yeah, fashion-wise.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys, wow, I believed all of it, all of the clothes. Nothing looked like a costume.
Right, and that's really important. I'm sure, because I don't know anything about it. But the next question I had is best. I wanted to do just one, but I think it's better to go best styled movie of old. So in the past, and then something modern.
Like what? Or like my favorite old movie?
Yeah, not so much movie, but movie that's styled well,
Fashion-wise.
fashion-wise.
I would say, this is hard. I would say Mommy Dearest.
Wow.
Stunning. I wish I could have worked on that. I would have done catering or anything to have been on that set. And like the women.
The old version of the women or the new version?
The original black and white, all women.
Way back.
One man. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that brings up another question. How do you style for black and white when you don't have color?
I don't know. I'm not that old.
But you have an opinion.
I would have to talk to the DP and find out. I'm sure you can. I'm sure colors read or translate well. I would have to educate myself to find out, navy blue is a deeper black than black, whatever.
That's a good
Or
answer.
off-white, we have to do off-white because true white would be too blah, 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 glowy.
But that's the second time I've seen you do Norma Desmond in this interview.
What's Norma Desmond?
What was that movie?
Sunset
that's
Boulevard.
it.
Sunset Boulevard.
That's twice you've done Norma Desmond.
There's a pigeon type moment in that movie as well, Sunset Boulevard, when Gloria, what's her name?
Swanson.
Is smoking a cigarette and the cigarette is on a ring.
Yeah, that's a pigeon
right.
moment. Yeah.
Wow.
Pigeon moment all day long.
Could you? Wow, it's too bad that you can't get paid for those products that you place.
Yeah, that would be illegal. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be.
Molly, I
nothing.
got a question for you. I'm looking over your credits. I mean, you worked on, obviously, with Frank and Murphy Brown, Ugly Betty, the Confessions of a Shopaholic. Would you, as a costume designer, love to work on a period piece? Would it be more fun to do like a Barry Lyndon or, like a Tom Jones or, a period piece where you can really, is that fun for a costume designer, or is it more fun to be modern with your own ideas?
If you're on a period piece, you're going to have a really big department that can build it, because you can't walk into Saks and get it. So that would be a real experience. I helped my friends Kurt and Bart on Hunger Games in Atlanta. And that was interesting because they're kind of creating the world, and building a lot, for those characters. They shopped some, of course, because a black pant is a black pant, but they had a huge construction department that was making things custom. So I'm sure that's a real experience. I would have to have Frank as the producer, who I know would back me up and, be supportive. I'm sure it's a gas, but I'm sure it's very, very creative to illustrate, what you're going to do for the characters. But there's something really fast and quick about modern, television, and you just blow into the stores and find it, or you make it real, real fast if you can't find it. We do make things, but it would be all. I just don't want to do a cop show. And unfortunately, when you think about it, those are the shows that go like 12, 15 years,
Yeah.
They go forever.
But did you work on a show, Crime Story, or wasn't that a cop show of sorts?
Yeah, but that was set in the 60s. That was one of the first TV shows. That was the first TV show I ever did with Pat. One of her first TV show too.
And you know who starred in it?
Frank.
Stephen Lang.
Wow.
Oh, Stephen was a star, really, huh?
He was one of the stars.
Stephen Lang. Yeah. Boy, Vegas was crazy. That was in the 80s, like I want to say 88.
Yeah.
Wow. What a time it was then. I saw Frank Sinatra at the Stardust or somewhere. We all went. Andrew Dice Clay, all of us went that night. It was incredible.
How did you know Dice? I didn't know you knew Dice.
He was on Crime Story.
Oh, he was on Crime Story. That's right. He
Yeah.
was on Crime Story. I did a show with Dice.
I know you did.
Crazy. I worked with a lot of good guys, and he's a good guy.
You told
He's
me,
a
but he's his
good
own
guy.
worst enemy, but he's a great guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. I don't know. He was super young then, pretty wild, but he's a good person. I want to say that one of my favorite styled movies of now is like The Fifth Element, or that French director, I can't think of his name right now, that did The Fifth Element, because Jean-Paul Gaultier did the clothes for that. That's a modern one that I like. The Fifth Element. It's science fiction. I don't know if you've seen.
I haven't seen that, but I will check it out.
That's a really great one. And there's I don't know the name of it. Maybe you will. There's a science fiction movie, and it's oh God, I'm never going to remember the name of it.
The
It's
Silo.
called- Huh?
The Silo.
No.
Okay, that's the only science fiction movie I know.
What's that?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Oh, Lucy,
yeah,
sure,
Lucy,
yeah.
yeah.
It's about Lucy, the first
With the
First-
Joaquin Phoenix, no?
vertical vertebrate.
That-
Lucy's was the first
Vertebrate.
vertebrate. Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of stuff comes out of your mouth.
On the bones.
At least a lot of stuff that comes out of your mouth.
Is the oldest. That's the oldest archaeological finding we have to man.
And it's the oldest comedian ever on television, Lucy.
Not the same one. Yeah,
So
The clothes in Lucy have like a real swagger and a street vibe, and they're just really like fierce. I don't know. They have an attitude, and I really love it.
that's good.
anybody ever described your clothing as fierce?
No, they haven't. I guess we better get on it.
Get
Fierce
moving.
with a street attitude.
Oh, Frank, I don't know if you know this or not. Speaking of people's opinions of my work, this past season, season 2, the New York Times had a group of arts and style and culture reporters form a group, and every Thursday when the episode dropped, they would review the clothes every Thursday in the New York Times.
Wow.
That's great.
That
Clout.
was a phenomenon to me because I just couldn't believe that it was a round table where Vanessa Friedman, who is the fashion writer, critic of the New York Times, and like 4 other people would break down the show by costumes and give their opinions.
That's a lot of clout you got there, Molly. That's pretty heavy duty stuff at the Times doing that.
It was brutal some weeks. Brutal.
They say, where the hell did you get that pigeon purse? Whose idea was that?
Yeah, I got to look back and see what they said about the old bird.
Pigeon lays an egg. Bill, I think the headline, pigeon lays an egg. There you go.
Hey, that's good. The writer.
Molly, you are unbelievable. You still are unbelievable. And, Derek, I'm sure you got questions.
I just have one more question. Have you ever done a podcast regarding Devil Wears Prada? And sort of like discussing, obviously starting with the budget and also the acquisition of the clothing and then the thoughts behind
I think she just did.
those choices.
I think she just did.
Yeah. But more.
Well, yeah, that's the most I've ever really talked about it. I don't think I have totally devoted to the Devil Wears Prada. I know that Annie Hathaway and Emily Blunt were just in the paper, I think yesterday, talking about what it was like to meet on that set for the first time. And there's so many stories to talk about that movie because it's so beloved by the fashion community. It really is it's people's like top 5 fashion movies, and there's so much to tell while you can still remember, right, Frank? What can you remember these days? It's hard if you don't, it all mashes together things that you worked on, doesn't it? Or maybe your memory's better than mine, Frank.
Well, I remember Murphy Brown in New York just because the people that I worked with, I don't worry about the actors or the shows. I just know about the people I worked with and the relationships I've made. And that's what I value, not the creative quality of what I produce. I just value the people I've worked with.
You're such a good producer. You know why, too? I'm sure you hear this all the time. You're a real cool cucumber. Nobody's ever going to get you on a phone recorder screaming your head off.
I'm not so sure about that.
That's a good thing to hear. You're cool under fire. That's the way you got to be, I guess. You can't make a decision the other way.
Yeah, well, I'm cool with people that do their jobs and know what I value their craft.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Anything else, Billy?
I got
a
controversial question for
you.
Fairly controversial, I would imagine. Animal prints. Do you get a lot of grief when people wear animal stuff? Do you get a lot of grief when the people would say, "Hey, what's with the furs? What's with the things? Don't keep the animals." Any of that stuff.
Well, Billy, I can't believe you came up with such a great question. So good.
I can't believe it myself.
That was one of the New York Times reviews was I was using animal prints on this one character, and they felt like I needed to pull back a little bit. She was in leopard one week. She was in a cheetah print. I had her in a zebra printed coat. But she played a a highly paid real estate agent, big time, the big stuff, Sotheby's, the big multi-million-dollar apartments. And I felt like she needed to kind of be a part of the jungle. And she really wore these animal prints really great. Only the New York Times had something like, oh, great, this week we got a leopard. Oh, they were always making fun of it. But, that's part of that show, is to do little things like that. And I enjoyed it, and the actress loved it.
Well,
but if you're talking about fur, if you put a fur on someone now, you would probably get canceled and thrown out of town.
Wow.
well, I'll tell you,
So upset. And I love fur.
and
I love it.
I'll tell you,
And
at work,
if I put a vintage fur on someone, I'd probably get in just as much trouble, even if the animal had been dead for 50 years.
yeah, at Warner Brothers, we have a rule that's no animal fur.
Is that controversial?
Yeah. Oh no, it's no animal fur. No, none whatsoever. You can have fake animal fur, but you can't put anybody in real animal fur. No, persona non grata.
Wow.
Well, that was one of the first questions I asked Meryl when we met her for The Devil Wears Prada. I said, Meryl, do you have a problem wearing real fur? And she was like, no, my character absolutely would wear real fur.
That was then. That was 2008, I think.
6, maybe?
6.
Yeah.
That was
The
know.
industry changed that much in 10, 15 years?
industry changed that much in 10 days.
Wow.
So
Yeah. People really, I feel very censored, actually. I feel censored in my private life, in my personal life, and in my professional life. Can't do this. Can't say that. Oh, that PA needs an emotional day. They've had a rough time. They need to recuperate.
Jeez.
It is
yeah,
bonkers.
it's truly crazy. I mean,
It's crazy.
I'm glad I'm getting out of the business rather than trying to start in the business. Although I think if I was trying to start in a business with my work ethic, I'd make it to the top really quickly. But nevertheless, I'm happier to be on the back end, the back two,
Playing the back two holes.
back two holes, closing holes rather than just teeing off.
Right. I hear you.
Well, Molly, you've been unbelievable.
So he's really
a great way to start off the new year. Have a new year. I want to ask you: do you have any? What do they call institute? What are the resolutions for the new year?
I haven't really. I mean, the world is so crazy. Like I don't know. I would have to think about that, and I just hope we can all have a safe one. And I hope you continue to have a great time with all your guests on your podcast. And I really thank you for having me. It was fun talking to you and Billy, everyone. Yeah.
Molly,
thank
a
you.
real pleasure meeting
Molly,
you. So
thank
easy
you.
to talk to. Really easy to talk to. Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you.
You're a sweetheart.
Wonderful, wonderful new year.
Thank you for having me, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays and happy New Year.
holidays is right.
Love you, Frank. Bye.
Thanks.
She's a gas. She's really easy to talk to. She's a lot of fun. And,
She is truly.
she doesn't pull any punches either. She
No,
throws it right out.
I thought she would be fun.
She was
She
great.
was.
I
She's great.
thought she would be fun.
Very, very easy to talk
Well, that's wraps up the first show of the new year. Let's say goodnight and get out of here.
Hey guys, I just want to say congratulations.
On.
You made it.
Made it for the whole year.
You made it for the whole year.
You creaky bastard. You.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for looking in. We appreciate it.
Next week's guest, star of TV's Night Court and co-star of The Big Bang Theory, Melissa Rauch.
We'll see you next week.